There are moments in life that defy explanation, moments that shake us to our very core. Some dismiss them as tricks of the mind, coincidences, or overactive imaginations. But others know better. This is the chilling true story of a father and his son, a normal drive home, and a glimpse into something beyond our understanding. Was it a child's wild imagination? Or proof that the dead never truly leave us? Jeff was just another father, living an ordinary life in Dayton, Ohio. A hard-working man, someone who never put much thought into the supernatural. But one afternoon, something happened that he would never forget. He had picked up his 3-year-old son, Miles, from a relative's house. The boy was in the back seat, strapped safely in his car seat, singing a song only a toddler could understand. His little voice filled the car, innocent, carefree. The road ahead stretched out, the late afternoon sun casting golden streaks through the windshield. It was a peaceful drive. At least, until they approached the cemetery. It was a modest place, no towering headstones, no elaborate statues. Just neat rows of plaques laid into the earth, surrounded by colorful flowers. To most people, it looked like a well-tended garden. But to Miles, it was something else entirely. That's when Jeff noticed it. The singing had stopped. A thick silence hung in the air. He glanced at the rearview mirror, expecting Miles to be dozing off, but no. The child was wide awake, eyes locked on something outside the car window. And then, in the most innocent voice, Miles pointed and said, "Look at all those people." Jeff's breath caught in his throat. His eyes flicked toward the cemetery. Rows of plaques. Flowers swaying gently in the breeze. But no people. Not a single soul. His grip on the wheel tightened. His mind raced. Was there a funeral happening that he somehow missed? A gathering? But no. The place was empty. He swallowed hard and forced a smile. "What people, buddy?" he asked, keeping his tone light. Maybe Miles was just pretending, playing one of his little games. But Miles didn't waver. He pointed again. "All those grandmas," he said. His voice was as casual as if he were pointing out a flock of birds. A cold shiver ran down Jeff's spine. He didn't know why, but something about the way Miles said it sent an unnatural fear creeping into his bones. He looked again. Nothing. Just stillness. Just gravestones. His foot pressed a little harder on the gas. He needed to get home. Now. The rest of the drive was quiet. Miles had gone back to humming, completely unbothered, as if nothing had happened. But Jeff couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that clung to him like a shadow. His son had seen something Jeff couldn't. And that thought terrified him. Later that evening, Jeff was finally starting to relax. Miles sat cross-legged on the floor, watching his favorite cartoons, lost in a world of animated characters. Jeff leaned back on the couch, telling himself he was overreacting. Kids say weird things all the time, right? Imaginary friends, make-believe stories, it was all part of childhood. And then, Miles spoke again. "You know, they weren't alive." Jeff's entire body tensed. His heart pounded in his chest. He turned his head slowly, his breath caught in his throat. He forced himself to ask, "What do you mean, buddy?" "Those people we saw. They were all paused." Jeff felt ice crawl up his spine. Paused? What did that mean? Was his son trying to explain something he didn't fully understand? Or had he seen something beyond the veil of the living? His fingers twitched. He wanted to dismiss it, wanted to laugh it off, but deep down, something inside him knew. This was no ordinary childhood imagination. That night, Jeff lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the words echoing in his mind. They weren't alive. They were all paused. What had Miles really seen? Spirits lingering by their graves, unaware that time had moved on? Ghostly figures frozen in place, waiting for something. Or someone? And why had he been the only one to see them? Jeff never got an answer. He never brought it up again, afraid of what he might hear. But the memory haunted him. A reminder that sometimes, children see the world differently. Sometimes, they see things that we are not meant to. Do you believe in the unseen? Have you ever heard a child say something that sent chills down your spine? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that will keep you up at night.